This episode is sponsored by Victory Grips. Victory Grips are the standard in hand protection, plus they just launched their new gym affiliate program. As affiliate owners, they understand the demands of gym owners. Their goal is to keep their gym referral program process as simple as possible. You'll receive educational content, early access to upcoming releases, and exclusive discounts for your members, plus received a percentage of the net sales. Find out more at victorygrips.com. Welcome to the Power Monkey Podcast, where we chat with the best in the world of fitness about what they do. I'm your host, Dave Durante, with my co-host, Mike Service, and on today's episode, we have Evan Slaughter, also known on his Instagram feed as Fit to Serve. Evan is a veteran-turned-influencer who has battled some addiction and mental health struggles over the years. We were lucky enough to have him out with RX Spark Gear as part of our team for our Power Monkey camp in the fall for our 20th camp. The dude is just a gem of a human being. He is hilarious. He is probably best known for all of the great content that he puts up around pickleball playing, but also he has a great message around trying to love yourself and how you can turn that into creating a better environment for yourself and the people around you. We go into his story a little bit about what he had to go through to get to the point now where he is trying to create the best version of himself through fitness, through the social media following, and through the people that he is coming in contact with on a regular basis. We'd love to have Evan back out with us again at a future camp. We hope you guys not only are following him, but listening to the message very closely because it's an important one for all of us to hear. Enjoy. All right, let's do this. Evan, thanks so much for taking the time, man. First off, Happy New Year. How was your New Year?
Man, it was really good. I just want to say thank you guys for inviting me on the podcast. I love what y'all are doing. I had an awesome time at Power Monkey, and I'm honored to be here. So I appreciate it very much. New Year was great, man. 2023 was a good year. Ready to bring in 2024, do it even bigger, man.
Do you have a resolution? I think we were collectively trying to talk to each other on our Power Monkey team about what each of us is working on, but do you have something that's on your goal list for the new year?
I've got a few things, and normally I'm not a resolution guy because I've always set resolutions that just seemed way too, I couldn't reach them. I would always set these crazy expectations, never reach them, and so I just kind of quit doing it. But then I came back around to it last year, and I set some like goals for my social media stuff. I wanted, I think 50,000 Instagram followers and like 100,000 TikTok followers. And I blew those numbers out of the water, 168,000 Instagram followers, 166,000 TikTok followers. So I was like, yes, finally a goal that I accomplished, New Year's resolution. But I've also got some weight loss goals. I want to lose about 70 pounds. I'm down, as of today, 25 pounds from what I weighed when I was at Power Monkey.
Wow.
Oh, crazy.
That's already awesome, man. Congrats.
I appreciate it. And the weight loss really didn't start until October because I started working with a company called Blokes, and they help you get optimized. You test your blood, they see what's going on internally with you, which I hadn't had done in so long. And so we got some things figured out and started some stuff to kind of help with appetite and that kind of stuff, just to kind of jumpstart some weight loss. And it's been great, man. It's been great. It's been hand in hand with, working out again and trying to change some diet habits and that kind of stuff. And finally seeing the weight loss, the number on the scale drop has been the most motivation I've needed, because for a while it wasn't moving and I would just get so upset with it. But it's finally moving the right direction, man.
Love it, man. Well, congrats on that great head start moving into the new year. But you mentioned working with Blokes now and maybe some hormone testing and some other blood work, which I think is pretty critical to figure out kind of what works best for you and for your genetic makeup and things like that. But have there been some things that have been suggested to you that you've implemented that you're like, hey, these are things that I know that I can sustain moving forward? The 70 pounds is a target, but things that you can make sure that are in place no matter what happens and that you can see as a sustainable lifestyle thing moving forward?
Yeah, totally. For a while before I started working with Blokes, I was getting, of course, doing all the fitness stuff. I was getting so much just, products and sponsorships and different things. So I had access to like more health stuff than most people that, go to the gym and would love access to the health stuff I've had. But it's all been stuff that I felt like for me, I just wasn't there yet, man. It would be like, I'm getting all these different supplements and eat this and eat that. And I just knew I wasn't there yet, which may sound lame, but I knew what I was going to do and what I wasn't going to do. What was nice about Blokes is like finally taking a look, like you were saying, at the labs and the blood work and actually sit there with a doctor and say, hey, here's what's going on, man. Yeah, obviously this is due from lack of exercise and gaining weight, which is crazy, the amount of problems that come from that, by the way, just being out of shape. Like every, little health issue I've had, which hasn't been major, but getting sick easier, all these different things, it's been from being out of shape and being overweight. So being able to see that on the blood work and then have some stuff like my testosterone, dude, was super low. Like if you're familiar with the numbers, they want you in the 800 to 900 range, which is pretty optimal. Most guys that aren't using some kind of testosterone enhancing supplement aren't going to be there naturally, but they'll be closer. I was a 141. I mean, I was, so, no, talk about no energy, just terrible diet habits, terrible sleep habits, no motivation, man. No, and so once I started getting some things that'll help boost the testosterone, supplemented with the semaglutide, which is basically like a Ozempic. It's a, really popular thing going around right now, which has been great for me. Watching the weight loss come down and the testosterone come up. Last time we did blood work, 45 days after I started, from the 141, I'm now at like 530. So still a little ways to go, but feel like a completely different person, dude.
That's fantastic, man. I'm really happy to hear all that stuff. And, we had some interaction together. You mentioned it briefly, but we were lucky enough to get you out to Power Monkey Camp 20 in the fall through RX Smart Gear. You're rocking the RX Smart Gear right now. You got the shirt on. Shout out to Dave and the rest of the crew out there in San Diego. We've seen your social media. You're freaking hilarious, man. We love following along with all the shit you got going on social, the pickleball stuff and all the other stuff. You make everyone laugh. But to meet you in person at camp was just phenomenal. And to see, how you are as a real person, how you interacted with everyone. And I think the week was impactful for you in a few different ways. And I'm curious from your perspective, kind of what you took away from the week of coming to an adult fitness camp.
Man, I just want to say, like, Power Monkey is literally one of those things. Like when you go and experience it, like before me going, all I had was Dave Newman telling me about it, which he gets excited about anything he's involved in. So I was like, we'll see, but, but I, love Dave and been working with them, RX Smart Gear and Dave and them, and gotten close with their family and their employees there. And I mean, they're just so awesome. He just brought me in, man, and was like, told me, you're doing Power Monkey. I was like, all right, man, whatever. Just tell me when it is. I'll put it on the calendar. And I was nervous, dude. I was nervous. I talk about it a lot because, I was, obviously not in great shape. I had kind of started back exercising more regularly prior to Power Monkey. And I sort of did that on purpose so I wouldn't be as, struggling. But so, super nervous coming into it. And but then you get there and you meet everybody, and then you meet other people that are also not in the best shape, that are just super passionate about CrossFit and exercise and bettering their lives. That was seriously, that week for me was super, super impactful. I still talk about it. I actually made really good friends with a couple people in our group that I was in, and I just went up to Chicago and visited them and stayed the weekend with them. And it was
amazing.
We met each other from Power Monkey. It was a blast. So and then all the stuff you get outside of that, the little lectures at night and all, you have Dawn coming in talking about, mind performance and how you can perform better, up here. It was just the full package for me, dude. I tell people all the time, I was like, I feel like if you go to Power Monkey and you complete it, you should come out, CrossFit level 2 at a minimum, because that's a lot. It was, best coaching, Olympic, all the stuff that you guys have going on there. It was just super cool. And it really is a family, you can see that once you've been. And but it was great, man. It was great. It kicked my butt. I left there going, dang, I'm smoked. That day we had the mayhem workout and still had to do some of the groups. I was
Yeah.
like, this is gonna kill me. I'm gonna die right here. Cause I had Mike, I had your group
Yeah, yeah.
that day, and we just got smoked at mayhem. And
Yep.
then me, I'm like used to eating way more calories than we had at lunch. And so I'm like, I'm struggling. I'm like losing consciousness. I'm at the kettlebell thing with Jeff, Martone, I think that's his name, right? Teaching the kettlebells. And then come over to you, and I was like, "This is gonna be the death of me." But
Well,
man, I
no,
sucked it up and made it.
yeah, knowing your now your emotional state at that point, I'm even more impressed with how you handled the snatch station. That was dude, that was fun. You were like you could tell you were like, oh yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Like if we're gonna bench press, I think I'll be pretty happy. But this
Yeah,
overhead squat thing and snatch, but it felt like at least for me by the end of the session, you were actually enjoying it a little bit.
I really did, and that was the first time I've ever done a snatch, by the way. And first time I've ever gotten a front squat with anything heavier than the PVC pipe that you usually use at a CrossFit gym if you can't do overhead squats.
Yeah.
So, your coaching is, stellar, man. And I was the snatch for me is one of those movements where you're like, there's a lot going on here. I'm like thinking about things too much, but the way you taught it, dude, it just I left there thinking, okay, I kind of get it now. I feel like I could do this in a CrossFit workout.
All right. Well, that makes me really happy to hear. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, totally.
And I
Well, we
wanted
love
to,
having you, man. Go ahead, Mike.
Dave, yeah, I just wanted to rewind just so, Evan doesn't feel like he's getting interrogated too much at the beginning, like we're asking you for your lab results and, all these different things. But that's like a two-part kind of bias from Dave. One, as I've known him now for like 10 plus years, now that he has two kids, and he's also more, I guess, seeking this knowledge for health and wellness and longevity. So this is like a passionate thing from him. Dave, what's the book that generally we always end up we had a sauna session that you should have been in at camp,
Outlive.
Evan. Yeah, Outlive. This is a book
Mm.
that you should read if you haven't. Peter Attia, Outlive. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Dave. So it's got all the stuff you're talking about with tests and the hormone levels and testosterone. So I
Yeah.
know Dave was just seeing if there was any secret that maybe blokes had told you that he hadn't read about yet. And then on top of that, a little bit of you mentioned, the kind of the family feeling that we have at Power Monkey. Fortunately or unfortunately for you, your family now, so you have like the accountability buddy factor where
Right.
now that you're telling Dave and Jordan and I all this, we're going to be a little bit more on you to make sure it stays on your list for the year.
Good. I need it, man, for sure. That's one thing that this community and doing the social media stuff has definitely brought me. It's like people that actually care. I get texts from Eric Hinman all the time. I don't know if y'all know Eric
Oh
Hinman
yeah.
much, but yeah, he's great guy, man. He has been so helpful to me, dude. Just anytime I have a question or whatever, he sends me, deals to work with people on pickleball and stuff when someone's looking for a pickleball influencer. So yeah, but for the secret inside info from blokes is what I'm kind of learning is you just blast testosterone and it solves all your problems. Right? No, so that's, just do a bunch of testosterone. No, they've been they've shown me things like just different things that supplement packs that I take and all these different things to help lower blood sugar and it's motivated me to start making changes in other areas. Like I was saying, like once I saw that weight start to come off, it was like, okay, I don't want this to go back up. So now what's the next step? So the first step for me was getting that blood work done. And I was terrified to do it because I knew it was going to be bad. I was dreading that call. I actually had the call right when we left Power Monkey, and I'm thinking, crap, man, this isn't going to be good. He's going to tell me I'm dying or something. That's how bad I thought it was going to be. But it was, you got to know that stuff, man. And once I was aware of it, my blood sugar's super high, dude, which I knew was going to be. Testosterone super low, just everything out of balance. So getting it in balance was the first step. And now that I'm starting to see progress, it's just making things easier.
I mean, that's the huge part of actually taking that step, right? And having people around you to be like, hey, not only we're here to support you and make sure that, we're in your corner, but we are going through the same thing ourselves. You know what I mean? Like everybody has that fear of, can I make the change that's necessary for the things that I'm seeing? And it's not easy to do that first big step. And for yourself, you're making a pretty big leap in terms of just getting your health and wellness in a place where 2024 is going to be better than 2023, right?
Yeah.
Losing the weight and the things that you put on your agenda for this year. But there's some things that kind of led up to that, right? And you mentioned some of these things to me out at camp, your background, having come from the military and got injured in the military, and that kind of that snowballed a little bit into some opiate addictions and things like that. I'm curious if it was something that almost felt like an insurmountable challenge for you at times, where it was like, being compounded by, the military situation is what it is. You came out with the injury and were doing anything you could possibly to kind of feel, not in pain and things like that to go along with, what you had going on. But I'm curious if what ended up happening with you moving away from fitness after the military, if you felt like it was a black hole where it was just like, I'm not going to be able to get myself out of this at some point. This is my life at this point. I just can't do anything to be able to get myself on the right track at this point.
Man, I could not have said it better, because I didn't realize. So I've been fortunate. I kind of count it as a blessing, honestly, now to have gotten out of shape and have gained weight and have been able to feel what it feels like, because most of my life I've been in shape. I mean, really good shape. I was a weightlifter growing up. I studied exercise science in college for a little bit. I did some personal training before I joined the Army. Then got to the Army, went through Special Forces selection. I was running half marathon distances whenever I came out of the Army. And so I used to be one of those people where I could see somebody super out of shape and just not get it. Like, why would you let yourself get like that? Why would you, and not being judgmental or mean, but I just didn't understand it, and I think a lot of people in the fitness realm that have been fit for the majority of their life probably see that too a little bit, like you just don't get it. They know how good exercise makes them feel. They know how good being healthy, weight, eating healthy, all these things makes them feel. So they just can't understand why anyone wouldn't want that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So whenever I got out of shape, it really came at a time where sobered up, got off the opiates, found comfort in food. It's like, okay, I can't abuse, pain pills and opiates now. What am I going to do? So I would come home at night and I would eat, a large pizza. I would eat, not even big sweets guy, just junk food, DoorDash. I spent way too much money in DoorDash. You know what I mean? Right at and I could even feel, it's crazy because like you'd get a notification from DoorDash, like after you use it so many times, and instantly you can feel like a little bit, not the same kind of euphoria from opiates or whatever, but a little bit of that, I would feel that because I would start looking forward to the junk food that I was going to eat that night. So I can definitely understand how people with real food addictions have got to feel. It is like a drug for them. Mm-hmm. So when I got, I weighed way too much. I think the highest I weighed, which is insane after thinking about it. I keep thinking I'm going to look back on the videos and stuff I made, with my shirt off and just all this stuff and go, what was I doing, dude? But no, but I love it. But I, got up to 267. I'm not a big guy. I'm like 5'5", 5'6" on a good day if I wear the right shoes. And, so that's weight, that's really close to 100 pounds overweight for somebody my size and my age. So like you were saying, you go down that rabbit hole, it's not easy to get out of. It's really not easy to get out of. I started having trouble wanting to go to the gym because for the first time in my life, I felt like I didn't belong at the gym. Like it was hard to walk into the doors of the gym and not be in shape. You know what I mean? Because I used to go into the gym and be the guy that was ripped and, would come in and slam weights and do this and that, and, socialize with the other fit people there. But then getting super out of shape and walking into the gym is a way different experience, dude. It's hard. It's hard. Going to a CrossFit class whenever you're 100 pounds overweight is tough. They would just be doing the warm up and get down on the floor, and I would have trouble getting down on the floor and getting back up. And I'm thinking, man, this is embarrassing. but I just got to a point, that's where everybody says like, uh, a lot of times I get comments and messages from people that are also out of shape that say, man, your content, I know it's funny, but it really is helping me. And I can understand that, because it's like, I just got to a point where it's like, I don't care what other people think, dude. I need to get my butt, back into the gym. I know the benefits from it. I know how it makes me feel. I've got to do it for me. And slowly but surely just kind of start plugging away at it. But that was my thing. It's like you were saying, it felt at one time where I was just like, I'm just going to be overweight the rest of my life, because it is so difficult to lose that weight, 100 pounds, drop the weight just to get up and get moving and get motivated. It's super challenging.
I can imagine it's incredibly daunting. Mike, do you want to jump in and just kind of?
Yeah, just and Dave, you can spin off of wherever Evan probably wants to go with it. It's like just what both of you said. There's 10 directions that I almost want to go with it. But Evan, you were saying the one thing, like when you were younger and let's say in your fit prime, it was hard to even like look at somebody who was out of shape and think like, yeah, why are they like that? Or, what's the deal? And I think that's actually a message, at least from my perspective, that I don't hear very often. But it definitely resonates, because I know, you have a passion now for really wanting to connect with people. And it seems like, what you said is like, I don't care what people think now, like you're just going to go and get better. But at the same time, it seems like you very much care what you think about other people. Like it seems like you've had a little maybe shift of mentality or perspective or something that's fueling you. So again, I haven't even got to a question yet. I'm just trying to summarize a little bit of what it feels like you're putting off, and this kind of let's say desire to connect and improve yourself, but also maybe open a door for let's say two communities that you've been a part of now to like maybe bridge a gap. Like what's that feel like, I guess, if I'm guessing correctly? It seems like you're trying to bridge a gap somewhere now.
Yeah, I mean, that's really well said, because I didn't intentionally do that. I just started making comedy videos, basically kind of poking fun at myself a little bit. Your friend that's just started CrossFit, your friend that just started running again, your friend, and I'm playing a character that, everybody knows, the guy who's out of shape, used to play high school football, and now he decides in his mid-30s he's going to start running again. And, he goes all in. He gets all the stuff. He gets all, and he can maybe run half a mile. That's me, right? So, and I found that when I started making that content, there's a lot of people that are in that same boat, that are relating to it. Oftentimes I tell people, or what I like to say is, if I was someone like myself, because I had this experience, wanting to get back in shape and all that kind of stuff, and you go search fitness on Instagram. Well, what are you going to see? You're going to be flooded with all these ripped dudes, good looking girls, super in shape people that are just killing it. And that's intimidating, because to me, it's like, well, crap, here I am, 90 pounds overweight. Like, I'm not this dude. I'm not going to get to that. I'll never get to, it seems unattainable. And then in my mind, I go, well, I'm just not going to worry about it today. And then I just keep pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. And so I always say, like, man, the majority of people that are interested in health and exercise and stuff like that are probably people that are out of shape, wanting to get in shape, or have been in shape before, got out of shape, wanting to get back in shape. I would bet the smaller percentage of the population are people that are, super ripped and jacked and in killer shape, because it takes hard work. It's hard stuff. So when you go see that stuff on Instagram, it's a little bit overwhelming. So I think what happened with me is I started putting out fitness content as a guy who's, overweight and out of shape. And people were like, hey, that's me, finally something I can relate to. Finally, a fitness influencer that I can get behind here, So it kind of happened, bridging those two categories you were talking about, just kind of, I don't want to say accident, because looking back now, it's, I feel like this is the plan, this is the purpose of the content right here. I just couldn't see it when I started. And now it's coming together, and it gave me a new drive and a new purpose behind my page. So I was really blessed to kind of stumble upon that, I guess.
one of the things you've mentioned is the need maybe for yourself, but maybe for others as well, to first love themselves. You got to love yourself, and that'll lead to you being able to make the improvements in your health, your fitness, or whatever else your kind of your own personal goal is. For you, how were you able to find that for yourself? Was there something that kind of just clicked for you, and saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm happy with who I am. I know I can make some improvements like we all can." But was there a moment that kind of clicked for you to be able to say, "Hey, I love myself in this particular way, and that's going to lead me down the path of me being able to make the changes that I think are necessary"?
Yeah, it was definitely not one particular event, but a series of multiple events from, being in the army and then getting injured in Afghanistan and, dealing with all this opioid addiction and watching my life like literally get hit rock bottom, nowhere to go, no money in the bank, legal trouble, all these things that come with that, those issues, uh, you know, breaking relationships with family, just, things that happen from that. And finally hitting that bottom and going, man, I don't want to go any lower than this. I need to do something about this. Like, what do I do now? And then getting that help and trying to turn it around. That was definitely a staple for me in it, because I remember coming out of that and finally being sober and going, man, you know what? I'm just happy to be alive. I don't care what I look like. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care if I have to go live with my parents for a little while to get back on my feet. I don't care if, I'm just happy to be alive, you know, and to finally be sober and finally be appreciating the beauty of this world and life and all the little things that come along with it and all the people in my life. And like feeling that for the first time, but in a long time, was really eye-opening for me. And then that's where I realized, like, I get out of shape during that time, and but I'm happy. I'm the healthiest I've ever been here, but I'm the unhealthiest I've ever been externally, physically. So, I wouldn't trade that for anything, man. I think honestly, if I had to choose one, I think I'd rather be healthy upstairs, because my thing was, it's like, if I'm miserable, but I'm in killer shape, but I've got a lot of just demons and issues going on mentally, what's the point? You're not living any kind of life. And I realized kind of for a long time that, other than the military time and stuff like that, most of my exercise and my goals were based around how I wanted to look, how I wanted people to perceive me. It wasn't because I wanted to be an Olympic weightlifter like Mike, or, do gymnastics, Dave. It was because I just wanted to have ripped abs and get the chick at spring break. And that's not sustainable. It wasn't sustainable because it wasn't enough for me to want to, continue to pursue that lifestyle whenever crap really hit the fan. So for me, it's like, it's a blessing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, Evan. I was just going to say that the one thing that you're saying, I think Dave and I, and probably a lot of our, like, let's say our staff and coaches can relate, though. A lot of it comes down to like what you're identifying with and like where you're finding that value. So, no different than you, let's say, you wanted to have a certain aesthetic and a way to look, and that only lasts for so long, and it doesn't help anything, emotionally upstairs. The same thing for elite athletes, elite coaches, whatever you do. If you're too absorbed in that one thing, it's not holistically healthy. So many, like Dave and I are so lucky, let's say, that we found the CrossFit community to be able to transition from competing to teaching.
Yeah.
Because then it went from self-focused to others-focused. And it's like, yeah, of course, I think, we still want to look a certain way because it's, part of how we are. But at the same time, it's probably a healthier way of where you're focused on, connecting with others and being in good relationship and things like that. And it sounds like, yeah, you kind of had to tear down one facade to kind of rebuild the base, and way better to build that base off of your mental health and, knowing who you are and what you want. And then, yeah, the body part comes, like, that's all going to be step by step from there.
Right. And that was the thing, is like, once I got healthy upstairs mentally again, and was excited about living life and wasn't just dragging through day to day, it was through that's whenever I decided, like, okay, now I want to do something about my physical health. because I want to be able to enjoy life again. I want to be able to, when I went out to RX Smart Gear one time, I think I went out there twice this year or 2023. And Dave, how active he is, he wants me to do all the things, go surfing was a big one, which that was a bucket list item for me. I wanted to at least try to surf. Right. Well, I did, I went, put a wetsuit on. We got in the water. He tried to push me on a wave, couldn't get up on the board. Obviously, you're getting smacked around by the Pacific Ocean. And, but that was just kind of an eye opener for me. Like, well, this is a reason right here for me to lose some weight, because I want to be able to do stuff like this. We would get, he's got bikes in his van. We would get the bikes out of the van and ride to breakfast. And, I want to be able to do that and enjoy it, and not just be thinking about, crap, this bike ride needs to be over. I'm gonna be sweating by the time we reach this breakfast place. He's gonna have to come get me in the van after that. Yeah. So I wanted to, and a lot of that came from the content that I create, and being afforded these opportunities to work with these awesome people and companies, and come to places like Power Monkey, and say yes to things in life, and travel all over the country. And I realized real quick, like, if I want to continue to enjoy this, I got to do something about my physical condition, so that I can really appreciate what I'm doing here and really enjoy it, and not be dreading, some of the things coming up. Like, oh, I got to travel again. I've never been to this place. I'm really excited about going, but traveling tires me out. Like, I want to have energy again. I want to be able to really do life. So for me, I feel like that's sustainable for me. I can carry that mindset into my physical health, into my 70s, 80s, if I live that long. That's sustainable to me. So that's been the platform for my exercise now.
I'm curious about community within this whole thing, because for us, Power Monkey has selfishly become one of the most important communities in my life. And I grew up with a really strong family dynamic. I come from a big Italian family, and, for better, for worse, we all yell at each other nonstop, as you might imagine, but we all love each other. And Power Monkey and my gymnastics teams have all been communities that I've been able to lean into throughout various stages of my life. And now Power Monkey is one of the one that's cemented itself to be as important as any one I've ever found in my entire life. And I don't think any of us are immune to not having mental struggles, and it's a part of everyone's, daily life. And the stronger that community is around you, the more routes you have to navigate, I think, and the more places you have to be able to lean into when those struggles come up. From your perspective, I'm just kind of curious, like, you mentioned Dave Newman and RX, and maybe some of the other sponsors, and somebody like a Hinman. But do you find that community within your local community in Alabama? Maybe it's a social media community, but do you have a community that you lean into that has become a resource for you to be able to say, hey, no matter what happens, I know that I have this group is in my corner to help me kind of see this thing through?
Yeah, I mean, that's huge right there, right? I mean, you really said it there. The community is a big part of my motivation to keep going. Have people in your corner, like you were saying. What was kind of surprising to me, and this is where I kind of, applaud the companies that do want to work with someone like me, is they're stepping out of the typical, picture perfect person to represent their fitness brand. So I was really kind of amazed at that. RX Smart Gear, Ice Barrel, Blokes, all these different people that want to work with me, and they don't care. Not that they don't care, but they're not asking me about, how's your weight loss going, whatever. They're there for me whenever I want to talk about it, but they're not making it feel like it's dependent. My working with them is dependent on me getting in shape. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're just there to support, and they want what's best for me too. I have been so blessed to really work with some genuine people that care. You guys, you know what I mean? That's huge, because you can't find that everywhere. And I feel like people, unfortunately, I mean, it's sad, but you can't find that everywhere. You do have to kind of go out and look for it. I've been well received in every CrossFit gym I've been to. I honestly have. But for someone, think about someone just wanting to try CrossFit for the first time. They've got no friends that do it. They know no one that do it. They just want the benefits that come from that style exercise, and they're out of shape. They don't know anybody. If they were to walk into a CrossFit gym and just really kind of be blown off and not be helped, and everybody in there's, they're not going to want to come back to it. So community and that's my responsibility, right? Now that I've been brought into this community, now I've got to be one of those people for somebody else. So when someone else is wanting that community, I need to be an advocate out there on the front lines, welcoming them in and helping in whatever way I can. And I found that in the the community we mentioned. Blokes, I talk about blokes a lot, but they're just it's really cool how they're operating. We did a wellness retreat in Austin, Texas, and it was just everybody. They've got Blokes Enjoy Women's Wellness, so men and women. They just had all the ambassadors down to Austin. We worked out together. We played pickleball. We enjoyed a meal together. We just hung out and, exchanged information, got to know and now I've got 2, 3, 4 people just from that event that are reaching out to me weekly, sending me products if they own a company like, hey man, Dream Recovery Sleep. Todd Anderson owns a company, Dream Recovery Sleep. He was talking to me about my sleep habits while I'm there, sent me a bunch of stuff from his company to help improve my sleep. Like just people in your corner. So for me, it's like what you're saying is, do I find that in Alabama? Yeah, but you got to look for it. Like I've got to do my part to get my butt off the couch and go to these places where that community is at. If I don't do that, chances are I'm probably not going to be involved in a community like that. But if I put myself out there and keep putting myself out there until I find it, it's definitely available.
Love it.
Yeah, Evan, you're probably pushing us to be a little more accountable in that area. Like Dave said, we're lucky we have this like incredibly extended international Power Monkey family. So almost everywhere we go, we feel that I love the connection. But then at the same time, sometimes the one place where we live is where we don't have the closest connections. And just the way that you said it there, though, it just kind of reminded me, it's a conversation I've been having here where I live, is like, if you're not finding it, you probably need to facilitate it a little bit. Mm-hmm. And that can be as simple as, the gym that you're in, smile a little more, make some eye contact, say hello to the new person, whatever it is. I get made fun of a lot of times. I live in Germany, and they're not known as being the most embracing, like open people. They actually are. You have to like break through the first barrier. But I find myself walking down the street all the time, then I'll smile and say hi. And where we live, everybody looks at me like I'm like diseased or something. And I had one guy that thought I was trying to fight him one time because I smiled and said hello, and he started like yelling at me. And then my wife had to explain to him that I'm just super friendly and I'm not from here. And then he laughed and thought it was funny. So it's even in the sense of the humor that you create is, I think, also opening doors for people to feel more comfortable, whether it's in an awkward situation or, talking about something, and you just, you're kind of a testament to, you never know what doors that open and what connections you make from it.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I definitely agree with that. And it's funny you mentioned that, like being in the South, like dude, people wave at you. They'll be across the street. I was driving literally yesterday from my office, and just me and a guy, he's like in a parking lot. I mean, literally 50 feet away, and he waves at me. I mean, no idea who that. He just waves, dude. I wanted to do a comedy video about that, like jogging around your neighborhood in the South is like, and you just pass all these neighbors, and they're like, "Hey," and then they know all this stuff about you. How's your mom? And how are they still down there at that house on? And you just can't get a run in because you're being stopped by everybody. But the community is I mean, it's huge. I heard someone say one time, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future." And what that meant was, when I was hanging out with a bunch of people that were doing drugs and, all these different things, that's where my future was headed, And now that I've changed that community up, and I've got friends like you guys, and I've got, all these different people that I've been fortunate to meet and work with and become close with, that are doing things a lot differently, leading by example, living these healthy lives, wanting to help me get there too. I feel like my future is I've got a lot better chance of having a positive and bright future just from the people I decide to associate with. So community is huge, man, for sure.
I love it. And you got us in your corner no matter what, man. And hopefully get back out to camp again. But I can't let the conversation go without talking about pickleball a little bit.
Yes.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
Let me get something for us for this conversation.
Yeah. We got to get some pause music here.
Got
Uh-oh. Dave, do you have ours?
Fit to Serve paddle is out now.
Wow, look at that thing.
Isn't that cool?
For the listeners out there, there is a full-on animated outline of Evan with his shades on. That the guy is international superstar now. He's got his own personalized racket.
Evan, we might need one of those.
That thing is almost bigger than his face.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I know, right?
I love that.
We might need one of those to raffle off at our fundraiser, Evan. That's pretty epic.
Dude, let me know. I would love to send y'all some for sure.
But tell us the story behind that thing.
It came out December. So Valair, the people that make the paddle, that's a pickleball paddle company that I've been working with, and I've got a multi-year deal with. It's been a great relationship. One of my first, big deals that I got from the content world. And we just have, continued to grow. They take me to tournaments, all these different things. They're based out of Austin, Texas. And the content's done really well for them and for me. And so they were like, well, look, we gotta make a Fit to Serve paddle, and it'll be kind of a paddle for the, not your pro player, but your average rec. You just want to go to the park and hit the ball around player. So they're doing about 2 or 3 different designs. They're releasing 500 at a time. So it's a limited edition deal. So they're already working on the second design now. But this one's got, of course, the logo face that I use. And then the back on this paddle has got just a bunch of different quotes from my videos. So like these are quotes that I've said in my videos that were funny. Yeah, back me up, Donna. Shuffle your feet. You look in the pickle. We go in doubles, Sandra, all these different funny things. And so I thought that was really cool for the design. But when you order the paddle, it comes in a really cool gift box. I mean, the gift box is awesome. It's designed kind of like this, and it's really cool looking. And it's got the paddle in there. It's got some stickers. It's got a little thank you card from me. And then it's got one of those push buttons. And every time you push it, it's my voice saying the quotes from the video. So I thought that was funny. But pickleball's been huge, man. Pickleball,
I love it.
Huge for me.
It's become obviously a large, for all the listeners out there that keep up with the episodes. Whenever we talk about camp, you can hear us talking more and more about pickleball taking over Power Monkey Camp. We're gonna be.
I should teach a pickleball station.
Man, if you're up for it,
that would be a blast, dude.
Yeah. So Did you got to play quite a bit at camp too in the fall?
Yeah, we played quite a bit. When I wasn't completely smoked from the day before.
Evan, wasn't it you that hit a line drive right at like Fee in the throat?
I knew you were gonna say that. I think it hit her in the face, maybe.
No, it was right in the throat.
Yeah, it was in the throat.
It was like they were like 2 feet apart.
We were getting into it though.
Yeah,
don't let her fool you, dude.
No, you delivered some heat, but that thing went right at her throat. It was like.
I know. I quickly apologized. I was like, I did not mean to do that. But if you're gonna be at the net like that against me, you're gonna take a pickleball to the throat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just CrossFitters are competitive at everything. So you put a paddle in their hand and they become extreme pickleball players within 5 minutes.
I know.
It's part of the deal. It's inevitable.
And they're super fit, so they think they're just naturally going to smoke everybody at it. And then you take someone like me who just stands back there and tries to hit shots that are placed well. And it's frustrating for them,
Did you play tennis or racquetball or anything like that prior?
So I never really got into tennis. My mom played some, but racquetball was big. My dad was a big racquetball guy. We were like literally, me and my brother one year got like racquetball stuff for Christmas. That's how, and I actually played. I really enjoyed it, man. I hate that it's kind of a dying sport or has already died, basically. But it's a lot of fun. It's intense, man. I'm telling you, you get beamed with one of those racquetballs, dude. As hard as they're hitting them, that's no joke. So we would get competitive on the racquetball court. So just once I kind of picked up a pickleball paddle and started, playing, it kind of did come a little bit natural. I played baseball too a lot growing up, so that kind of had a little bit of swinging the racket, swinging the bat kind of feel, hitting a smaller ball with a paddle. But racquetball, I think, definitely helped. Racquetball is a lot of fun.
Amazing. And we did have a bunch. We haven't unveiled them yet, but for people coming to next Power Monkey Camp in the spring, we do have branded Power Monkey paddles made up for the first time that are
Nice.
quite epic. They're freaking sweet. So we're going to be unveiling them at next camp. We're pretty excited about it.
Oh, dude, that is
We don't have your
awesome.
face on them, of course, but we're doing the
Well,
best.
yeah. That is too cool. So are like each camper that comes, they'll get a paddle included?
No, we're going to
or is it-
auction some off. We're going to
Oh,
auction
okay.
some off, and then you know, we have some little secret things that we're going to be doing with some of them throughout the rest of the year with some of the events that we got putting on in 2024. So it's going to
Cool.
be a nice little hot ticket item that will first be unveiled at spring camp.
I think as mainstream as pickleball has gotten, if we give every camper a paddle in their gift bag, some might be a bit confused with our gift selections. So probably better that we keep those like on the court where people can select them as needed.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, that's probably true. You don't want to waste a good, branded paddle.
Evan, what do you got goal-wise for 2024 in the pickleball world? Anything you compete? Do you participate in local rec comps or anything like that?
I haven't yet, but as I continue to drop some weight, it's becoming easier to be more competitive. I'm not a bad player. I know how to play. I know how to hit the shots. And whenever I'm a little bit faster and more mobile on the court, I think I can definitely compete in some tournament type stuff. So I may want to do that. Right now, man, I make so much pickleball content that it's insane. I mean, every week I'm making 2 videos a week for Valair, and any other little deals I pick up that are pickleball deals. So it's a lot of I have to come up with these funny scenarios around pickleball. So I'm constantly thinking about it and constantly at the court but I am moving to Nashville at the end of this
nice.
month. Yep, making the move up to Nashville.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be good. My brother and his family are there. I actually went to college at Lipscomb for a little while there, so I've still got some friends in the area. But yeah, secured a place while I was up there over Christmas break and everything, and found a nice little spot that's literally 2 blocks from Broadway Street. So I'll be
Mike and I will be out there at the end of the month doing a course.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
What day are you moving up there, Evan?
The 26th is move-in
That's the
day.
weekend we're there.
Yeah, our
Really?
course is that weekend. So either
You
you
guys want to
come,
move some furniture?
Yeah, I would say you got a bunch of shit going on.
Yeah.
No.
Don't tempt me.
It'll be an easy move, but I would love to get together with you guys while we're there. I'm literally planning like go up on the 25th. I think they even said I can get the keys a little bit early. I'm actually going to Wadapalooza.
We'll see you there too.
The 11th through the 14th. Y'all gonna be there too?
Me and Mike will be there. Yes.
So they are doing a pickleball event there, a pickleball tournament.
Shit, I gotta bring my paddle.
Lisa from Organifi is putting on. Eric Hinman's playing. I'm supposed to play in it, and one of the consolation prizes is going to be one of my Fit to Serve paddles. So I'm bringing one of the paddle boxes, and like anybody that wins or whatever, we're going to give them one of the paddles. So we got to play.
Venue? Is it part like in the venue or is it somewhere else? So I gotta figure out how to sign up for this thing.
I'm actually getting the details on where it's at right now. I think it's going to be nearby, but not right at the venue. There was discussion of them setting up a court, and I think that might be kind of changing. So as soon as I get the information on that, I'll shoot you an email back and let you know the details. But right now, it's looking like tentatively it's Friday at 11 a.m. wherever it's going to be at. So try to keep your Friday 11 a.m. open.
All right.
We might be able to make it happen. We're going to be Jordan. When's this episode going to get released?
It'll be released on Wednesday. So right before, basically while we're all flying down to Miami.
Perfect. All right. Well, while you guys are all listening right now, if you're not already planning on coming to Miami, then get your ticket. You can come watch Evan compete. Then you can come over to Reebok CrossFit Miami Beach and do some workshops with Dave and I. Some of you that are probably already in
Friday and
Miami right
Saturday?
now, yeah, you can just check out our Instagrams and see where we're going to be and when. So thanks for helping us with that plug, Evan. That was super helpful.
Dude, I'm gonna come check out the workshops, man. I
Oh
did
yeah, no, I'll send.
the ab workshop with y'all at
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
CrossFit
We did the
games,
games over the summer.
and man,
I don't think people
I had
appreciate.
like two beers in the little thing right before the ab thing, and they were
You gotta
like,
love it. There's
Evan,
a
they want
fitness
you to be
thing.
in the ab class. I'm like,
Yeah,
all right, man, let me finish
yeah.
these beers, dude.
Attached to a brew house. Attached to a brew house. It's a
I
brewery, and then you
know.
go outside and you do a workout. It's like, well, I don't know if that's the greatest idea, but it worked. We had a good crew for it last summer.
No, it was fun, man.
Yeah. Well, what else you got going on, Evan? Where can people follow along with all the great things you got going on?
Man, so Instagram is always my go-to, and from Instagram you can reach all my other platforms, but it's just Fit to Serve one on Instagram because somebody has Fit to Serve, and I'm gonna find out who it is, and I'm gonna hunt them down. No, Fit to Serve one on Instagram, and then of course from there you can go to my link tree and see all my other stuff. Basically TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram for me. But if you search Fit to Serve, you'll see this guy pop up.
Boom.
That's my
Boom.
logo photo with the sunglasses, and you'll know you're in the right place. A lot of good stuff for 2024, man. Hoping to really, I started doing some car commercials for a GMC dealership in Minnesota. So that's exciting. They've got 79 billboards with my face on them in
Wow.
Minnesota. And it's literally like the sunglasses, not exactly like that, but it's like it's an actual photo of me like rocking the sunglasses, looking down. It's like Mauer GMC. So they're running the commercials. And so it was cool, man. So going up to Minnesota soon, going to do the car commercial thing a little bit and just continuing trying to make people laugh, man, and bring some humor to people's days.
Love it, man. You're kicking ass with it. We love seeing it. Before we get you out of here, we got some quick questions for you if you'll have them.
Yeah.
All right. First one. What sport or discipline do you prefer, weightlifting or gymnastics?
Weightlifting.
I love you so much.
I'm too thick for gymnastics, Dave.
Right now,
I'm too
you lose those
thick.
70 pounds, you're going to be speaking a different tune very soon. All right. The point for Mike. Any guests that you think would be great for us on the podcast? Somebody you've come across recently, somebody that you know, somebody that might be a great interview for us.
Man, Eric Hinman is always fun. Crystal, my girl, Crystal Necochea from RX Smart Gear, the brand director for RX Smart Gear, Dawn's wife. She's a riot, and she's got so much insightful information to share, especially just in the brand ambassador marketing world around RX Smart Gear. So I would definitely consider Crystal and Eric Hinman. I know would love to do it.
Well, we've had Eric. We can get Eric back
You have
on.
had Eric? Okay.
He has so many things going on in so many different areas that
He's
one episode
always busy,
do it
dude.
justice, And Dawn and
Yeah.
Chris are so close with the Power Monkey crew. We love them. They were out in New York actually last week. We just missed them by a day, and we were planning on meeting up in the city, and we just missed each other. But we haven't had Crystal on before. Jordan, maybe that's someone to add to the list. We'd love to speak with Crystal. She's always
She's so
asked
much
with us.
fun, man.
Yeah, she's
She's
awesome.
been a huge we've become like best friends, me, her, and Dawn, just from working together and everything. And I love them. They're definitely a big part of my community for sure.
She talks a lot of shit too when it comes to Papa Shot basketball that we play at camp, and I still don't think she's beaten me. So
She talks shit at
Oh,
anything she's gonna do. When we play pickleball together, she's usually my partner, and she's all over the court, and I'm like, hey, can I help you? Like, slow down a little bit, Let me show you how to do this. There is strategy to it,
love it.
She's just running her mouth and running all over the court.
Amazing. So we'll see if we can get Crystal on. I think it would be a great conversation for us to have. Last question for you. Any books that you've read recently that would be a good thing to pass along? And if not, are you a TV watcher, maybe a TV show or a movie that you've come across recently that you've enjoyed?
Oh man, that is a tough one because usually I zone out at the end of the day and put on something funny and just mindless and watch it. But I have been listening to more podcasts lately. So I listen to a lot of comedy stuff though. But if you like
give us
comedy,
give us a podcast.
Tiger Belly. It's Bobby Lee, the actor Bobby Lee.
Yeah.
And his ex-girlfriend and some other people that do a podcast called Tiger Belly, and it's freaking hilarious. So if
All
you
right.
want a good laugh, check out Tiger Belly Podcast.
All right. Fantastic. We'll add it to the list. I will check it out later today. Evan, thank you so much for the time, buddy. It's always great to see you and chat. Congrats on the upcoming move. If you do need a hand and Mike is available, because I know Mike is a lot stronger than I am,
He'll snatch
I
the
will
couch,
tip
bro.
your way to help pivot the couch up the steps.
Sunday night, Evan, I'll be free.
Let's get a meal together while we're there.
Absolutely. Let's make it happen. If you can't do it in Miami, let's do it in Nashville in a couple weeks. Thanks again, buddy.
Absolutely.
Great chatting with you.
Enjoyed it, guys. Thank y'all.
For all listeners out there, please be sure to head over to powermonkeyfitness.com for services and upcoming events. Check out our Instagram pages for regular teaching and technical content at Power Monkey Fitness, at Dave Durante, and at Mike Service. On behalf of Power Monkey Fitness, we're your hosts. I'm Dave Durante with my co-host Mike Service. And until next time, thank you all for listening.